في تلك الرسل فضلنا ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوهن إن كن يؤمن لهم خير وإن تخير فللوالدين والأقربين واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل وما تفعلوا من خير فإن الله به عليم كتب عليكم القتال شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام قتال فيه قل قتال فيه كبير وصد عن سبيل الله وكفر به والمسجد الحرام وإخراج أهله منه أكبر عند الله والفتنة أكبر من القتل ولا يزالون يقاتلونكم حتى يردوكم عن دينكم إن استطاعوا ومن يرتدد منكم عن دينه فيمت وهو كافر فأولئك حبطت أعمالهم في الدنيا والآخرة وأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون إن الذين آمنوا والذين هاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله أولئك يرجون رحمة الله والله غفور رحيم يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما ويسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتذكرون في الدنيا والآخرة ويسألونك عن اليتامى قل إصلاح لهم خير وإن تخالطوهم فإخوانكم والله يعلم المفسد من المصلح ولو شاء الله لأعنتكم إن الله عزيز حكيم ولا تنكحوا المشركات حتى يؤمن ولأمة مؤمنة خير من مشركة ولو أعجبتكم ولا تنكحوا المشركين حتى يؤمنوا ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك ولو أعجبكم أولئك يدعون إلى النار والله يدعو إلى الجنة والمغفرة بإذنه ويبين آياته للناس لعلهم يتذكرون ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين نساؤكم حرث لكم فأتوا حرثكم أنى شئتم وقدموا لأنفسكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم ملاقوه وبشر المؤمنين ولا تجعلوا الله عرضة لأيمانكم أن تبروا وتتقوا وتصلحوا بين الناس والله سميع عليم لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما كسبت قلوبكم والله غفور حليم للذين يؤلون من نسائهم تربص 4 أشهر فإن فاءوا فإن الله غفور رحيم وإن عزموا الطلاق فإن الله سميع عليم والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن 3 قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر، وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا، ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف، وللرجال عليهن درجة، والله عزيز حكيم. الطلاق مرتان، فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله، فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به، تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها، ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون. فإن طلقها فلا تحل له من بعد حتى تنكح زوجا غيره، فإن طلقها فلا جناح عليهما أن يتراجعا إن ظنا أن يقيما حدود الله، وتلك حدود الله يبينها لقوم يعلمون. وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو سرحوهن بمعروف، ولا تمسكوهن ضرارا لتعتدوا، ومن يفعل ذلك فقد ظلم نفسه. ولا تتخذوا آيات الله هزوا، واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم وما أنزل عليكم من الكتاب والحكمة يعظكم به، واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بكل شيء عليم. وإذا طلقتم النساء فبلغن أجلهن فلا تعضلوهن أن ينكحن أزواجهن إذا تراضوا بينهم بالمعروف، ذلك يوعظ به من كان منكم يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر، ذلكم أزكى لكم وأطهر، والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. والوالدات يرضعن أولادهن حولين كاملين لمن أراد أن يتم الرضاعة، وعلى المولود له رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف، لا تكلف نفس إلا وسعها، لا تضار والدة بولدها ولا مولود له بولده، وعلى الوارث مثل ذلك، فإن أرادا فصالا عن تراض منهما وتشاور فلا جناح عليهما. وإن أردتم أن تسترضعوا أولادكم فلا جناح عليكم إذا سلمتم ما آتيتم بالمعروف، واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله بما تعملون بصير. والذين يتوفون منكم ويذرون أزواجا يتربصن بأنفسهن 4 أشهر وعشرا، فإذا بلغن أجلهن فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلن في أنفسهن بالمعروف، والله بما تعملون خبير. ولا جناح عليكم فيما عرضتم به من خطبة النساء أو أكننتم في أنفسكم، علم الله أنكم ستذكرونهن ولكن لا تواعدوهن سرا إلا أن تقولوا قولا معروفا، ولا تعزموا عقدة النكاح حتى يبلغ الكتاب أجله، واعلموا أن الله يعلم ما في أنفسكم فاحذروه، واعلموا أن الله غفور حليم. لا جناح عليكم إن طلقتم النساء ما لم تمسوهن أو تفرضوا لهن فريضة، ومتعوهن على الموسع قدره وعلى المقتر قدره متاعا بالمعروف حقا على المحسنين. وإن طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن وقد فرضتم لهن فريضة فنصف ما فرضتم إلا أن يعفون أو يعفو الذي بيده عقدة النكاح وأن تعفوا أقرب للتقوى ولا تنسوا الفضل بينكم إن الله بما تعملون بصير. حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين. فإن خفتم فرجالا أو ركبانا فإذا أمنتم فاذكروا الله كما علمكم ما لم تكونوا تعلمون. والذين يتوفون منكم ويذرون أزواجا وصية لأزواجهم متاعا إلى الحول غير إخراج فإن خرجن فلا جناح عليكم فيما فعلن في أنفسهن من معروف والله عزيز حكيم. وللمطلقات متاع بالمعروف حقا على المتقين كذلك يبين الله لكم آياته لعلكم تعقلون. ألم تر إلى الذين خرجوا من ديارهم وهم ألوف حذر الموت فقال لهم الله موتوا ثم أحياهم إن الله لذو فضل على الناس ولكن أكثر الناس لا يشكرون. وقاتلوا في سبيل الله واعلموا أن الله سميع عليم. من ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا فيضاعفه له أضعافا كثيرة والله يقبض ويبسط وإليه ترجعون. ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي لهم ابعث لنا ملكا نقاتل في سبيل الله قال هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا فلما كتب عليهم القتال تولوا إلا قليلا منهم والله عليم بالظالمين. وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا قالوا أنى يكون له الملك علينا ونحن أحق بالملك منه ولم يؤت سعة من المال قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. وقال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت فيه سكينة من ربكم وبقية مما ترك آل موسى وآل هارون تحمله الملائكة إن في ذلك لآية لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود قال إن الله مبتليكم بنهر فمن شرب منه فليس مني ومن لم يطعمه فإنه مني إلا من اغترف غرفة بيده فشربوا منه إلا قليلا منهم فلما جاوزه هو والذين آمنوا معه قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجالوت وجنوده قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو الله كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله والله مع الصابرين. ولما برزوا لجالوت وجنوده قالوا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا قالوا
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
ألف لام ميم قال بل لبثت 100 عام فانظر هم الطاغوت يخرجون بشيء من علمه تلك الرسل فضلنا بعضهم على بعض منهم من كلم الله ورفع بعضهم درجات وآتينا عيسى ابن مريم البينات وأيدناه بروح القدس ولو شاء الله ما اقتتل الذين من بعدهم من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات ولكن اختلفوا فمنهم من آمن ومنهم من كفر ولو شاء الله ما اقتتلوا ولكن الله يفعل ما يريد يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا مما رزقناكم من قبل أن يأتي يوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة ولا شفاعة والكافرون هم الظالمون الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي فمن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور والذين كفروا أولياؤهم الطاغوت يخرجونهم من النور إلى الظلمات أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون ألم تر إلى الذي حاج إبراهيم في ربه أن آتاه الله الملك إذ قال إبراهيم ربي الذي يحيي ويميت قال أنا أحيي وأميت قال إبراهيم فإن الله يأتي بالشمس من المشرق فأت بها من المغرب فبهت الذي كفر والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين أو كالذي مر على قرية وهي خاوية على عروشها قال أنى يحيي هذه الله بعد موتها فأماته الله 100 عام ثم بعثه قال كم لبثت قال لبثت يوما أو بعض يوم قال بل لبثت 100 عام فانظر إلى طعامك وشرابك لم يتسنه وانظر إلى حمارك ولنجعلك آية للناس وانظر إلى العظام كيف ننشزها ثم نكسوها لحما فلما تبين له قال أعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير وإذ قال إبراهيم رب أرني كيف تحيي الموتى قال أولم تؤمن قال بلى ولكن ليطمئن قلبي قال فخذ 4 من الطير فصرهن إليك ثم اجعل على كل جبل منهن جزءا ثم ادعهن يأتينك سعيا واعلم أن الله عزيز حكيم مثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله كمثل حبة أنبتت 7 سنابل في كل سنبلة 100 حبة والله يضاعف لمن يشاء والله واسع عليم الذين ينفقون أموالهم في سبيل الله ثم لا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون قول معروف ومغفرة خير من صدقة يتبعها أذى والله غني حليم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تبطلوا صدقاتكم بالمن والأذى كالذي ينفق ماله رئاء الناس ولا يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فمثله كمثل صفوان عليه تراب فأصابه وابل فتركه صلدا لا يقدرون على شيء مما كسبوا والله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. ومثل الذين ينفقون أموالهم ابتغاء مرضات الله وتثبيتا من أنفسهم كمثل جنة بربوة أصابها وابل فآتت أكلها ضعفين فإن لم يصبها وابل فطل والله بما تعملون بصير. أيود أحدكم أن تكون له جنة من نخيل وأعناب تجري من تحتها الأنهار له فيها من كل الثمرات وأصابه الكبر وله ذرية ضعفاء فأصابها إعصار فيه نار فاحترقت كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا أنفقوا من طيبات ما كسبتم ومما أخرجنا لكم من الأرض ولا تيمموا الخبيث منه تنفقون ولستم بآخذيه إلا أن تغمضوا فيه واعلموا أن الله غني حميد. الشيطان يعدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء والله يعدكم مغفرة منه وفضلا والله واسع عليم. يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء ومن يؤت الحكمة فقد أوتي خيرا كثيرا وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب. وما أنفقتم من نفقة أو نذرتم من نذر فإن الله يعلمه وما للظالمين من أنصار. إن تبدوا الصدقات فنعما هي وإن تخفوها وتؤتوها الفقراء فهو خير لكم ويكفر عنكم من سيئاتكم والله بما تعملون خبير. ليس عليك هداهم ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء وما تنفقوا من خير فلأنفسكم وما تنفقون إلا ابتغاء وجه الله وما تنفقوا من خير يوفى إليكم وأنتم لا تظلمون. للفقراء الذين أحصروا في سبيل الله لا يستطيعون ضربا في الأرض يحسبهم الجاهل أغنياء من التعفف تعرفهم بسيماهم لا يسألون الناس إلحافا وما تنفقوا من خير فإن الله به عليم. الذين ينفقون أموالهم بالليل والنهار سرا وعلانية فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. الذين يأكلون الربا لا يقومون إلا كما يقوم الذي يتخبطه الشيطان من المس ذلك بأنهم قالوا إنما البيع مثل الربا وأحل الله البيع وحرم الربا فمن جاءه له موعظة من ربه فانتهى فله ما سلف وأمره إلى الله، ومن عاد فأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. يمحق الله الربا ويربي الصدقات، والله لا يحب كل كفار أثيم. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وأقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة لهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين، فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله، وإن تبتم فلكم رؤوس أموالكم لا تظلمون ولا تظلمون. وإن كان ذو عسرة فنظرة إلى ميسرة، وأن تصدقوا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. واتقوا يوما ترجعون فيه إلى الله ثم توفى كل نفس ما كسبت وهم لا يظلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا تداينتم بدين إلى أجل مسمى فاكتبوه، وليكتب بينكم كاتب بالعدل، ولا يأب كاتب أن يكتب كما علمه الله، فليكتب وليملل الذي عليه الحق وليتق الله ربه ولا يبخس منه شيئا، فإن كان الذي عليه الحق سفيها أو ضعيفا أو لا يستطيع أن يمل هو فليملل وليه بالعدل، واستشهدوا شهيدين من رجالكم، فإن لم يكونا رجلين فرجل وامرأتان ممن ترضون من الشهداء أن تضل إحداهما فتذكر إحداهما الأخرى، ولا يأبى الشهداء إذا ما دعوا، ولا تسأموا أن تكتبوه صغيرا أو كبيرا إلى أجله، ذلكم أقسط عند الله وأقوم للشهادة وأدنى ألا ترتابوا، إلا أن تكون تجارة حاضرة تديرونها بينكم فليس عليكم جناح ألا تكتبوها، وأشهدوا إذا تبايعتم، ولا يضار كاتب ولا شهيد، وإن تفعلوا فإنه فسوق بكم، واتقوا الله ويعلمكم الله، والله بكل شيء عليم. وإن كنتم على سفر ولم تجدوا كاتبا فرهان مقبوضة، فإن أمن بعضكم بعضا فليؤد الذي ائتمن أمانته وليتق الله ربه ولا تكتموا الشهادة، ومن يكتمها فإنه آثم قلبه، والله بما تعملون عليم. لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض، وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله، فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء، والله على كل شيء قدير. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله، وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها، لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا، ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا، ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به، واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا، أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
ألف لام
Bismillah. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You thought I wouldn't do a Ramadan stream. You thought we were going to be late for our trip to Saudi Arabia, carrying all the passengers in, simulating a very noble flight towards the lands where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to reside and the origins of Islam. It is rather a great honor to be flying this sector, and of course we were not going to be late. You thought that you'll have to wait until next week, but you don't. No, it is this week. It is actually today. We will be flying from where we left off this morning, which is Kuwait International Airport, all the way to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, which is a beloved country to us Muslims and a very special country, especially this month of Ramadan. And we will be kicking off the Ramadan streams with this one. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy I'm able to do this for you guys. All this time, this was the airplane. This was the game. I tricked you. You can't say. I tricked you. You thought we were having the stream next week, but no. It's this week, alhamdulillah. So, ladies and gentlemen, Muslimin, welcome to another beautiful stream with Caliphate Airways. We have our Pmdg 737, and we will be flying a sector from Kuwait International Airport all the way to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, carrying pretty much a full flight today with 178 passengers, moving at a lovely flight level of 32,000 feet. We'll be taking about 11 tons of block fuel with us, quite maxed out I would say, and a cargo of 4.4 tons. The flight time is expected to be about 2 hours. That's the block time, I believe. 2.5 hours. So we better get started setting up this lovely flight. I have removed the scenery from Kuwait Airport because it took too much frames away. And now the frames are very smooth. The game, you can see, is very smooth. But we do have the scenery for Jeddah Airport, and we'll see how that looks. Hopefully the frames will stay as smooth as now, inshallah. So, bismillah. Let's start. First, let's get our batteries on. Over here, batteries on, ground power on, and electric hydraulic pumps on. Emergency exit lights are armed. Gear lever is down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green. And we have flaps 0 matching the set. Auto brake is off. Wipers are both to park. And let's go and do our tests. So, have to go to the pedestal. Let me find the correct view. Lovely. So, we want to make this test. Flight control, overheat detection, muster caution, and the fire test. Before I do that, I will need to make sure that my headset is set up correctly because I can't hear it. So what I will do is I'll put you whilst I'm in the settings, because I don't want to reveal any information. I will put you guys in a lovely slideshow so that I can make sure that my headset is set up correctly. What did you guys think of the... It's short, yeah, oh, Ahmed says yes, it is short distance, but problem is, you know, I don't know why. I'm not sure why the flight is so long, but you know.
أنزل إليك
It
وما
may seem short
أنزل
distance,
من
but the
قبلك
distances around the
وبالآخرة
equator
هم يوقنون.
are different. There we go. We're back. Now, yeah, it is rather well. The distance, yeah. I forgot to say what distance we're covering. We'll be covering a distance. So let me find it. Where is it? Distance. Covering a distance of. It doesn't say. Can't find it. Let me try in here and see if I can see it there. I'll probably be able to see it here. Right, let's see. I'm furiously looking for the distance, but I just can't seem to find it. I don't know if you guys know where it is, but for now, it's a very long distance, and I remember it was somewhere here, but... Oh, there we go. Route distance. Found it. Yeah, it's 744 nautical miles, so it is quite a lot, in all honesty. So it will fairly take some time, but it's okay. It's worth it. Right, where were we? Let's do the fire test. So, back to my pedestal. Lovely pedestal panel. Overheat detection, fire caution, bell, and the 3 lights. So, these tests are now completed. We'll make sure that this is set to 1, 2, 3. Yep, and 1, 2, 3. Lovely. And let's go over to our overhead and complete the tests. This again doesn't work. It takes some time. Our recorder. This doesn't work. It's fine. Navigation. Nav, and now our circuit breakers. Circuit breakers are all off. Left side, right side checked. And our gear door over here is closed. Perfect. Alright. Let's just try again. It doesn't work instantly. It takes... I need to do something for it to work. It always does this, but not to digress. FS actions. Let's go ground services. We want to go and grab our same brief stuff. Kuwait to Saudi. Departure 1013. The QNH. It's gotten well. So if we go over to the fuel section, we have a block fuel of 10.94554 tons. So I'll make it 11 tons. 11.1 ideally, but because we're pretty heavy, I want to keep it at 11 tons. So pretty much whatever the flight plan says. So before I set the IRS position, we'll make sure that we have the correct fuel on board. So 11, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Return. Now let's go over to our unit ref. So FMC. Pause in it. So we are at Oscar Kilo. We are at gate. Not sure what gate we're at, because I removed the scenery. So we'll just leave it for now. We'll get what the left GPS has gotten so far. Okay, over to route. Put this in, and then we will request flight plan from sim brief, set fuel, set payload, and set route. Lovely. It's ongoing. So now we wait for the uplink to be ready, and then we'll load it. Taking its time. I wonder whether they did it on purpose. So departure. We'll be departing out of 15 left. And we will have the departure off. So let's go and check the flight plan. Kilo Foxtrot Romeo for Echo. So Kilo Foxtrot Romeo for Echo. And we will not use a... should we? No. We will not use a transition. Execute. Let's go to the arrival. Arrival will be runway 16 left, so we'll do an ILS on that. ILS 16 left. And we will go over to Nomda to Sierra. To Sierra, and we will not have a transition. Execute that as well. Amazingly done here. Oh, let's quickly... Almost forgot. Request boarding. Let's quickly board everyone. So essentially, we want to get those guys loading in the cargo and the passengers right now. I've already connected the gateway, so the rest should happen pretty automatically. I will not show any of the passengers for known reasons. And right, so FMC wise, I need to check whether we have any discontinuities, which we don't, and that's fine. Now, we have a 2-hour flight, so we can skip doing a lot of the destination data. We'll do the same as the previous stream. Going over to our departure, over here, we want to select standard instrument departure for the charts.
Do you want a board crew?
Both, yeah.
Pilot's boarding starting.
This is our departure. Now, we're about to do our MCP, basically, so the autopilot panel. We will go over to NIDAP, I believe. Right? Oh. Which one are we going? So wait, we're taking off runway 15 left. We're coming over here to Wafra. What's the next? Sisud Aslad Nomda.
Crew boarding
Nope,
starting.
not part of this. I probably missed it and I look stupid now. Where is it? Yes. Umpi Dekop. Dekop Kadtod Nidap. Right, I don't see it. Very much don't see it. So we will see after this. Oh, I know why. It's because we're going direct, right? So if we go over to our flight plan, direct to Govo. So after this, we're going direct Govo. We're not taking any of these. So that makes sense. Okay, cool. That makes sense then. Okay, cool. Let's look at the weather again. 1013. I'll search and refresh. 1013 stays.
Crew has boarded.
So 1013
Passengers
stays.
boarding starting.
1013. Check. Our initial climb altitude. Checking back at the chart. So we'll take off here. We need to be above 1,000 feet. Which is crazy, by the way, but, you know. There are no altitude restrictions from what I can tell. So we can easily go directly to our cruise altitude. This time we will go to flight level 320. And I found out what made us have a low flight level from the flight before. Lovely. Flight directors can come on. The runway heading is 152, like the stream before. I should have gone the other way. 152. 150 on that. And let's do our performance. So, perf init, 0 fuel weight. Okay, let's request perf init. And then we'll verify the details. I did forget to put flight level 320, which is the correct flight level. It will be flight level 320 over here, so just gotta make sure that it is correct. 1, 2, 3. Wait. I'll execute this, then I'll put 320 on the flight level. We have a cost index of 80. Let's double check with our flight plan sheet. So. Yeah, cost index of 80. I'm not sure if that's 272104, 272104. So, Ahmed, this is probably why. This is a very strong headwind. So, it'll take us time because this will slow us down. Do you understand? So, it will take us time to get it. I just realized, by the way, that my mouse position on my screen doesn't reflect the position you guys see on the stream, which is weird because I'm pointing at the TCOAT and the cruise wind. So the cruise wind is quite rough against us, right? So let me try use the stream to see where I need to point for you guys. No, that's fine. I was pointing where I'm pointing. That's pretty weird, so I need to double check as to why this is happening. But either way, let's keep going with our N1 limit now. So, let's go over to our takeoff performance tool. Takeoff, and we'll be taking off 15 left, import from aircraft, import weather. We confirm all this and then we calculate. So, we will be using TO, so 26K, 93.91 is the N1. Then we have 46, 47, 51, which makes sense because we're heavy as hell. And 49 on the CLOT, so the temperature here is 49. We'll go with flaps 5, and the CG trim 584, 45, 47, 51, 45, 46, 47, 51. So they're all within 1 knot of each other. Now, what may have caused this is essentially 583. 583 is the trim. Let's see. Oh no, what have I done? I didn't mean to do that. No, let's go back to index. Now I want N1. Back to N1. No, it is TO, so that should be correct. No, it's fine. They're all within 1, so we can accept them. Lovely. Setting the V2 speed. So that's 151 on the V2 speed. And it sounds like the passengers have boarded, but the cargo is still loading in. That's no problem to us. So, yaw dumper turned on. Wait for the light. Okay. One fuel pump on. And then we can start the APU ready for a pushback. Let's do the test now. There we go, the test works. And we've made sure that this is at 2000. Fantastic. At this point, let's also set the QNH correctly. It doesn't seem like it's the correct QNH though, eh? It is 1013. So I wonder. Let me double check. So time is 13:37, which is correct time. It is live time, so about a minute behind real time. Boarding completed. The QNH doesn't seem like it's showing properly here. That's okay. That's fine. That's what it is. That's what it is, you know. Right. So APU is available. We can turn on all fuel pumps. And we'll get on APU now. Window heat. Lovely. We are not under anti-icing conditions. And back to high. Carbon altitude set to 32,000. Let me quickly double check. Yeah, 32,000. Okay. We'll set the landing altitude later on. And the overhead is looking good. So, let's make sure we have parking brake on. We're going to disconnect all ground services. We have completely managed to work this out. And boarding completed. Lovely. And operate jetway. This was a quick setup. as it usually is with... Okay, let me go and get the doors as well, because it doesn't close the doors by automatically. Well, hopefully soon Pmdg will release a version that's compatible with GSX, and they'll be able to talk to each other a little bit better. Well, definitely GSX is making things a little bit easier. Cool. Fantastic. $11 tons of total, we confirm. And let's request pushback and departure. Oh look, it's doing it by itself. That is crazy. Target 162. Did we stop it in the middle?
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Let's see here. Okay, let's see if I can hack it. I'll do 178. Yeah, of course we can. Do we need to redo our performance? Let me double check now. Performance 2. Import from aircraft. Yeah.
Departure checks completed.
Calculate 147147151. Yeah, so let's go back to init ref N1. Let's double check. So 49, then we go TO and 5. That's fine. Take off. Flaps 5. Yep, no problem. Flaps, okay, 45. I can no longer accept that. We've set the correct data here. I wonder why that is. Now that's 2 more, so I cannot allow it. 5, 8, 9. Can I do that? No. Wait, what's the CG then? Doesn't show. Nose left.
Release parking brakes, please.
I don't want to release parking brakes now. Excuse me for that. Problem gets to be...
Release parking brakes, please.
Yeah, we'll do relax. You know what? I'll set it manually. And the rest of it
Release parking brakes,
set.
please.
Okay. So, APU bleed on.
Push.
Packs off.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Start at will. Okay. Let's go. So, all pressure N1. The engine is indeed starting. Engine is set to idle. Oh, good. $25 and is that N2? Yeah, 25% N2. You'll cut off to on. You know, I wonder whether if we flew higher, we would be able to maximize our currents. Let me quickly see. No, I don't think so. Let's try and see. It's usually the flight plan. Before we do that, let's start engine number 1. There's usually a map down here that shows the air currents on the... There's a page. Something like this. Yeah. They're against us at all times. This is flight level 300. Flight level 340. 300 has less winds, and this is flight level 390, which the current is against us, I believe, right? Yeah. It's not ideal, but you know. Right, so 29.2, yeah, of course, we're late on that one. Let's quickly do that, and before we continue on to collision, we should have turned it on already, but the rest is fine actually.
Please set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
For a good engine start.
So. This one is good engine start.
We have a good engine start.
Turn these fuel pumps on. Low pressure light will go off. Right. We did forget again to do this check. So valve open and then dim, and then open and then off. Perfect. Lovely. Low pressure lights have gone off here because we have fuel. And after start checklist, okay, so RTO, Autobricks RTO, flap set to 5. Gen off the APU. APU can come off right now before we can turn these all as they are, and obviously probe auto to on.
Tow truck disconnected.
Keep this as they are. Copy.
Left is clear, right is clear.
Left clear, right clear. Copy that. If I don't respond to messages, it's because I usually don't get messages, so I need to practice responding. But yeah, so we want to see whether she has the pin. She has the pin, so that means our controls will work. Now I don't remember how to get the controls on this page. Do we do it like one of these? No. No. Pmdg. This. Which is weird. I remember you had maybe I'm wrong. But there must be a way to get the controls up. Either way, full up, full down, full left, full right, rudder, full right, full left. Check. We're ready to taxi. So taxi lights and runway turn-off lights set to on, and let's start taxiing. We are 147, pretty much there. And on our beautiful map over here, let's zoom in so that we can see the taxiways. All the way to 15 left, although I do believe... Right, this is 15 left, so we'll take the next left and then go like that. So, we're fine. Bismillah. It's a sluggish aircraft, I'm not going to lie. Well, we are pretty heavy. So, we have to respect that. Look how beautiful it looks. It will be night by the time we reach Jeddah, that's for sure. So we may not get to enjoy the scenery very much. That's why we have to get going quickly. Maybe we can land... No, I think it will pretty much pitch dark, to be honest. The sun's going down, it's pretty quick. If the sun was like here, if it was like 1 hour earlier, we would have probably been able to land during a sunset. Lovely. We still aren't 100% sure whether Ramadan starts tomorrow or on Tuesday. So we are still awaiting Saudi Arabia to decide. Inshallah, we'll have a response later on today. Right, so Allahu can come on as well, might as well. I always turn these two, although the VNAV you don't really want to use it, because we are going to use vertical speed on the takeoff. I'll put on some thrust, get the aircraft going a little bit faster. We're looking good up on the overhead panel. Like I said in the previous stream, this aircraft is much easier to taxi on. Absolutely easier. Not sure the terrain works for me. Look at how funny the default of this scenery is. Although the scenery we added for Kuwait did, and there is an asymmetry in the thrust, and I wonder why. These are supposed to be equal. So if I put it full idle, I'm pretty sure the spool up time is way faster in the real thing. Okay, but we're not getting equal, which is weird. Anyways, we'll take the next left, not here. There is a small king air on there, and then another one. Oh no. If it's on the taxiway, we can't really go there. So we will have to enter the runway from here, which is fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay, there's a uphill coming up, so I will increase the thrust so that we can get through it. We're taxiing pretty slow. But we will do a rolling takeoff. So, let's set our transponder to TARA. Landing lights are on. I'm not sure if we need to put these to continuous, but that's fine. And what else? Yeah, auto throttle arm. And let's line up. So we're in the touchdown area. Oh wow, how tall these lights are! You definitely don't want this. Why have they made them so tall, man? You can't land. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take off. Bismillah. Very nice taxi on the runway, and obviously the strobe also can come on. Taxiing in. Okay, so chrono set and togas. Holding pressure down. Airspeed alive, check. Check, releasing forward pressure. Rotate. Oof.
Positive reincline.
Gear up. What a nice takeoff. Now start turning left. Alright, aircraft is now trimmed. We can set the autopilot to on. And vertical speed to 260. We can climb over to our cruise altitude. We'll let it do its thing. Oh, you know what it is? Against 16K, but I cannot keep the flaps. The 5 for this long. I kind of want to... Yeah. No. Oh, VS. It's... I don't want it to descend, though. But yeah, we do want the speed to go up. Pretty slow. So, flaps 2. Flaps 1. And flaps up. Check. Alright, after takeoff checklist, speed brake, auto brake, sorry, to off, speed brake is disarmed, flaps are up, and our lights are as required. Let's check the cabin pressurization, reverse L 2.85, check, and let's let the attendants go off and serve the passengers, inshallah. Those of you wondering, we do have a very segregated cabin. But let's see real quick. Fantastic. The landing from the previous slide didn't go as well. Hopefully this one will be nicer. Fantastic aircraft, fantastic livery, alhamdulillah for this. Is a nice design made by yours truly, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. Very beautiful looking simulator, and obviously we will be looking to upgrade the hardware so that we can increase the viewing experience for me and for you, inshallah. And this will be a very interesting upgrade when it comes. So I don't need this page now. We'll put on the flight plan page and make sure it's scrolled up in case we need a quick access later on. Amazing view, Ahmed says. Yes, it is a very nice view. And we're passing 104, so lights off. Seatbelts weren't on. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, some passengers probably injured themselves, but it's fine. And then we can let the passengers do their thing now. There is no Ramadan special livery for today. Well, that's because Ramadan hasn't started yet. So, stay tuned. I still need to think of a nice design, I'll be honest. I didn't have a nice design thought of by yesterday night, so I canned it, basically. But do not worry, we will have some nice liveries coming up. They will be a little bit more colorful on the bottom side. So instead of having 2 tan colors, we'll have something different. But I don't want to give away too much. I don't really have a final idea, but I have a general idea of what it will look like. Well, we do have now a side wind at 27 knots, and we will be moving. We'll be turning right over the time. So as you can see, it will be slowing us down quite a lot. But it's okay. It's okay. Awesome stuff. Oh, I forgot to put the gear in the off position as well. Okay, everything else looks good. We're passing the transition altitude, so QNH 2 steady. Ahmed is asking in the private messages. There is no turbulence in the sim, right? There is turbulence in the sim, I believe. Not sure whether it will destroy the aircraft in any way, but there is turbulence, gusts, and all that good stuff in the sim. Since we're climbing now, I should remove the restrictions, the climb restrictions, so we should all be good to go. Not sure if I need to turn this off as well. There we go. MCP looks good. Lovely. Ahmed is asking whether I've faced turbulence in the seam. And the answer is yes, but not whilst flying manually. So you usually face turbulence when the autopilot is on, right? And the aircraft starts shaking. So then you quickly go and turn the passenger seatbelt signs to on, right? That is all, essentially. That is all. Other than that, no, turbulence doesn't really have an effect when you're flying in autopilot unless it's very severe, okay? Either way, however, in the weather, in real life, the weather radar can detect turbulence, right? Big or small. So in real life, you can probably, the weather radar, once it detects it, it's probably wise for you to move around it, okay? Because turbulence is generated by a lot of ways, but it's essentially thin air mixed with currents that keep the airplane and the wings unstable. So this part of the wing will be getting a lot of lift, this part of the wing won't be getting much, so then a bend will be created. Then that would switch around, and then another bend will be created the other way. This bending, because of different wind pressures, will cause the turbulence. That's what turbulence is, basically, right? So as the airplane is moving through the air, different parts of the wing have different what is it called? Lift. Produce different lift. So then the airplane starts shaking. So turbulence is not the worst. However, we have faced crosswinds and gusts during landings, and that was like 2 streams ago when we landed, or a stream ago when we landed at Doha International Airport. So, alhamdulillah, we're now flying. We have a long way to go, but it is worth it. 20,000 feet and we're climbing fast. They're pretty heavy, so this isn't as fast as previous stream, but it is still remarkable. The performance of this aircraft is fantastic. And think about it, it's an old aircraft. The Boeing is an old aircraft. It is not a brand new aircraft, right? It has old-ish technology. However, it still outperforms some certain Airbuses, let's say. This flight would be a nice flight to do with the Boeing 777, 777, or a 787. And once one comes out for either the X-Plane or or Microsoft Simulator, I'll be sure to test it out. Obviously, we do have 787 in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but yeah. Are you playing Flight Sim? Are you speaking with Tower? I would love to see and experiences. Yes, we will be. So the next streams and onward, we'll be trying to use VATSIM for this. I wanted to first try and get the performance of my system so that it has frames, because VATSIM does take a lot of frames out of the system for one reason or the other. Probably the rendering of the flight models. But it is in the plans. Yes, VATSIM is the best way to fly, in my opinion. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that the performance was there. And then now that we have the performance, we can go ahead and jump on VATSIM. And it will be very fun to see. Let me quickly check the VATSIM map to see. So if you guys go to simaware.ca, let's see. Yeah, in VATSIM there isn't. Let me check to see ATC. In VATSIM, Jeddah now has ATC, so we would be speaking to Jeddah ATC on arrival. But obviously we cannot start the flight in the air. And there's a couple of people going to Jeddah right now on VATSIM. Well, we took off from Kuwait, so all good with that. Thing is, with VATSIM, I also have to strike a nice balance between going to airports. Going between airports that actually have ATC, because there's no use for us to be on VATSIM if there's no ATC, right? Unless I want to get hours in. But yeah. Omg, I hope the tower's speaking Arabic. The tower does speak Arabic. I think if you go to the first stream I did, the first ever stream, which was last year, Ahmed, you will see it. I went to Jeddah, and I had an arrival with an Arab ATC. Today, I want to reiterate, today we are not flying with VATSIM. However, looking at the VATSIM map, I can see that the Jeddah airport does have ATC coverage. But yeah, it was the arrival. So look at the arrival and you'll see. We didn't speak Arabic. I just said Salam alaykoum because I'm not fluent in Arabic, of course. But yeah. Top of climb is in about 80 miles, 70 miles. Or 60. That's a 60 mile. That's an 80 mile. Yeah, that's 60. Nautical mile. Thanks, man. It's cool. Yeah, the sim is cool. Simming is very cool. I like how the reflections work. Look at this. Fantastic looking simulator. We're flying towards the sun now. Going west. So we'll see a very nice sundown, essentially. And wow, it looks fantastic, doesn't it? You facing the sun, this should be a problem for pilot, right? Yes and no. The reason is the windows of the aircraft actually are quite small, and the pilots usually wear sunglasses. Now, obviously, it is more annoying than if there wasn't the sun there, of course, because it goes onto your eyes. But it's not much of a problem. Some aircraft do have. We don't have the HUD here, but some aircraft do have the screens that stop the sun. But you don't really need. Yeah, it's not a big problem because, as you can see, the way we're sitting, right, we're sitting right where the captain's head would be, pretty much. Captain's eyes, and the captain's eyes are the sun is blocked. It'll get worse once the sun starts moving down, right? But in real life, it's not too bad, I don't think. That's why there is the aviator glasses, which actually look pretty good, pretty cool. We're very fast. We're trying our hardest. The airplane's trying very hard. 0.8. Look, 75. We have headwind of 75. Which is quite a lot. That's why it will take a while for us to get there. Let's see. Hopefully it won't take 2 hours. But in all fairness, it is a huge flight, right? Okay. Awesome. Go check on the passengers. Alright, let's go. Let's go. I don't think the passengers are modeled. Look, it's an empty cabin. I lied to you all this time. No, the passengers are not modeled in Microsoft Flight Simulator. They are modeled in X-Plane. So in X-Plane, if you go and check on the passengers, then you can see them. But not in Flight Simulator. What we can do in Flight Simulator is obviously check. You always want to pick the right seat so that you can see the engine. Well, obviously you can't see the engine spooling from here, but you would be able to see it from, I think this window should be the right window. Just about. Just about. I mean, you have to really try to see the engine. Right. That's it, working. Very nice, very nice. And the other part is also the wing. It is an empty cabin, but it's good because there wouldn't only be men in this cabin, and we cannot show anything else. So it's best for it to stay empty until I can manage to change the models for the passengers. Well, the wing looks fantastic. And it's also beautiful to see the flaps go down as the aircraft is on approach. But the fact that there is no passengers in here means we can eat all the food out the back. So let's go double check what's on the back. Hopefully some chicken and rice. The lavatories don't work. It's fine. Alright, so where would the food be? So this seems to be seats for the cabin crew, right? No, probably not. Maybe they are. Who knows? Can we open the door from here? No, we can't, thankfully. Or is it bolted on or something? Let's quickly check. Okay. We have some chicken here if you want, guys. What do you want? Let me know. Inshallah, we'll have it. This is the waste bin. We have some chicken. You want some coffee? Here's the coffee machine. We can warm up. You want chicken? Let me know if you want chicken, right? We can get some chicken for you. But let's go back to the cabin because we will be leveling off soon. I can't wait for the PA system. I need a nice PA system like the Phoenix has. PA system for the Pmdg. That would be amazing. Reason is, they have to, like now, these two are the main company, so whatever Phoenix releases is like a standard for every other company now, because that's what it is, right? So Pmdg will need to release a PA system, probably. And I'm sure Pmdg will do a good job. I mean, Pmdg doesn't disappoint. They just take a very long time to do. In FSX, they were the best airplane company by far. But now, I wouldn't say they are. I think they're pretty equal with Phoenix. You have to give props to Phoenix, even if you don't like the Boeing. Even if you don't like the Airbus as much as the Boeing, you have to give props to Phoenix. They've smashed it out the park, you know. You don't compare aircrafts in terms of performance, because obviously the aircrafts are different from one another, but you want to compare quality of product, because that is consistent across. You can compare it between different aircrafts, right? So what percentage of features does the release have, you know? Let's see what Ahmed said. Let's imagine there is some storm on the way or some technical plan problem and you have to change the landing direction to other city. Are you able to manage this? I mean, then you have to make new plan and give new information to the plan through MCDU and ETC. This will show how good a pilot is. I never saw this in a stream before, to be honest. We can do it at some point, actually. Yeah. So, essentially, so if something happens on the weather, you would just avoid it. We would change the heading, and we would turn, for example, right, and then avoid the storm from a visual reference perspective, or we can ask for ATC to guide us if it's during the night. Now, the alternate, quickly go over here. The alternate, which is here, is Medina Airport right now, right? And we can go to the alternate if something goes wrong. Now, I don't want to click anything because I'm not sure how to do it on the Boeing. But what would happen is if, let's say, there is a lot of traffic in the Jeddah airport, and if there is bad weather or something happened in the airport and the airport is now closed, you would want to go to the alternate. Now, I'm not sure if I click this, how will happen, but it would be a redirection. right? So what you would need to do is, from your current point, you'd need to create a route to the alternate airport, and from then you can fly a normal approach as expected. We will be doing it in, let's do it the next stream, why not? Inshallah, we will do it in the next stream then, so that we can practice that as well. And yes, you're right, this is... Yes, so, this case you have to do some checklist. Yes, first of all, yeah, you're right that it shows how good a pilot is in a certain, you know, yeah, it shows that they know how to do a redirection, and redirection is quite a more advanced topic. So yeah, you're right, it kind of shows how advanced you are with the airplane, and I'm not very advanced, but in this case you say do some checklist again. The checklist you would need to do is first of all validate that the airport you're going to has what you need. For example, weather is fine, traffic is fine, and there's no NOTAMs for it. Okay. The other thing that you need to verify, and it's the most important thing, is your fuel state. You need to make sure that you have fuel, enough fuel to go to the destination. Now that's what the alternate fuel is over here. So the alternate fuel, you see here it says Med. This means Medina. This is Jeddah. This is Medina. The alternate fuel is calculated so that you have enough fuel to divert to your airport, right? To the alternate airport. And you see the fuel here. We have 2.1 tons. And you have the time, which is 44 minutes. So if we wanted to divert... we would have to have more than this value in order for us to be able to divert, right? From if we already went to Jeddah and then we want to go to Medina. Let me quickly see here. And it ref. Legs. Prog, is it the prog? Essentially, what I want to show you is the minimum fuel. So the fin res, right? So I'm not sure where to see the fin res here. But the fin res means final reserve. This means that if your fuel goes below that amount, you need to declare a mayday. Right? So you need to declare a mayday if you have fuel less than the FinRes fuel. If you have fuel that is above the FinRes and 30 minutes onwards, right? You can declare a fuel problem. I think it's not a mayday, but it is a... But the tower will probably get you first into land. So this is your FinRes. This is the least amount of fuel that you are allowed to have whilst flying without declaring a mayday, right? After this, so 1756 would be declaring a mayday, okay? Damn, there is a lot you need to support. Yeah, probably I do. These flights are not very advanced, so it's not too bad. But yeah, you're right. A support can always help. You know, you'll be sitting here, Ahmed, in a couple of streams, inshallah. We'll be sitting here. But you need to learn the Boeing or the Airbus. Whichever one you like will fly, no problem. Now, thing is, we're very heavy. So as you can see, we're only climbing 400 feet a minute. We haven't reached our top of climb yet. Because we're trying to go very fast, and obviously we're pretty heavy. Now the sun is in our eyes, because it's going down. I hope we do have a landing that's a sunset landing, but I just don't think. Let's quickly see. We have a long time. till we finish. What time is Maghrib in Saudi? Or actually, not sure. Maghrib time, Saudi Arabia. Checking now. 6. I think we will have time, you know. So because Maghrib, you can still see light. But today it's at 6:07 in Saudi Arabia. And obviously there is 4 hours or 3.5 hours until then. So we should be landing during daytime, if anything. Yeah, probably will be a sunset landing type thing. The sun will be like about here. Okay, that's very interesting. Very nice to know. We'll probably have a sunset landing. Let's hope. How good. How great. We're almost in our cruise level. The chicken is finished out the back. They ate all the chicken. These are coat hangers, right? Let's turn the airports on. We're flying over very much a desert, I believe now. Let's quickly check on the map here, shall we? So, we zoom out so that we don't destroy the computer. So, we're quite ahead, right? This is Riyadh, okay? So this is a very nice town, small town. I don't think it has an airport, but it is a town called Burayda. Okay, and I think actually it does have an airport. It does, yeah, it does. I can see it on the map now. It does have an airport. It's an airport right over here. So this is Burayda, and this is another airport. This is the airport over here, somewhere. So let's quickly zoom in, see if it loads up. So this is Burayda, and the airport is somewhere around here. Not sure if it will show it. Let me double check on the map. No, it's here actually. Should be here. There it is. Yeah, that's the airport. That is the airport over here. It's a pretty small airport, but an airport nevertheless. So we'll zoom out and see. Awesome stuff. Very awesome. We're almost halfway through. This is our halfway point. So after Burayda, this is our halfway point. We'll start planning our descent over there and making sure that we are set up for landing. Very beautiful indeed. We are now at cruise level. Finally, the aircraft managed to get there. And 0.81. But as you can see, Ahmed, we have a wind coming, headwind 268 at 121 knots. So this is what the aircraft has to face now. It is facing that resistance. So we need a lot of fuel to overcome, a lot of fuel to burn. You see our engines are running at 94.1 at this point. So a lot of engine power is needed to overcome that resistance for us to be able to fly at this speed here. And had it not been for this huge wind, we would be able to go a little bit further up, and that would increase our Mach It's 2.87, I think, or something like that, which would allow us to get to our destination a little bit faster. 94. That's 1440, so in 15 minutes we'll be at gas. Very beautiful plane. I like the Boeing so much. And hopefully the frames will stay as they are, because they've been fantastic, the frames have been. Right? The frames are fantastic so far. So can't ask for anything better. I'm very happy at this moment. So because I'm very happy with the performance, and hopefully the frames will stay as they are once we reach Jeddah, we will be looking at VATSIM next week, inshallah. And on top of that, we'll also be looking at doing the diversion stream that Ahmed wants, because it's good to do the diversion. It's a very nice, it's very fun, it makes things exciting, but I cannot tell you when. I have to plan it so that it's a surprise for you guys, so it's more realistic for you. So yeah, bismillah. We have 2 people watching, so thanks guys, welcome. It is a fantastic sector, and the lighting, how it's done in Microsoft Flight Simulator, is pretty realistic. So when you look inside, you see everything white outside, which is pretty realistic because you're not focusing your eyes, you're focusing inside. So when we go outside, then you can see the outside, but the inside darkens. So there's this nice switch, and it's pretty realistic. And we do have some clouds forward, as you can see over here in our flight level. Let's see. We don't have a weather radar, so I don't know whether these are bad clouds or not. If they are, we'll find out by the trembling and turbulence we'll be going through. And if that happens, then of course we will try to increase altitude or change heading. Although it'll be a little bit too late. But we will change heading to the right, because if you can see the winds now, they're pointing to the left. And if you want to avoid weather phenomena, you want to turn upwind. So you want to turn against the wind. The reason is, say there was a storm in front of us, the wind will be pushing it to the left. So if we turn to the left, then we will still hit the storm as we're flying there, right? So the storm will come onto us. If we turn to the right, then we won't need to turn for as long. We can only turn a little bit, and the storm will move out of our way. Does that make sense? So, always make sure you guys check the wind before you do any turn, and make sure that the ATC tells you the correct way to turn. And ask them why they're telling you. So it's important, all that stuff. Those wheel steering. There's normal and alt. Very interesting. Ooh, what's this? You know? Oh, the sun is already pretty down. Let's hope that it will stay there, and then we'll have time for our TD. Subhanallah. Clouds are popping up now. They're everywhere. Check the legs. We'll prep for approach quite later on, so if you see here, our TD is literally, what, 80 miles away from what we can do is, I hate how it saves the thing. So we have a master caution on the fuel. Now don't worry, because what this means is that one of the fuel pumps has low pressure. And the reason why it has low pressure is because if you can see our center tank over here, it's near empty. So I'll wait for this to go to 0 so that we empty it completely. And after that, we will be able to turn these fuel pumps off. This has excess data, so if I turn the airports off, then it'll be fine. Okay, so the center tank is empty. We'll let it go on for a little bit longer. Wait to see. Make sure that it's completely empty. Nothing's up. And also we should also see the right center pump. Of low pressure. Or no, is that not going to be it? Okay, that's fine. We'll turn the center pumps on. Let's turn the cross-feed valve open. So that was bright then dim. Reason why I want to do this is because there's some imbalance in the fuel here. So this is our right wing, this is left wing. And I don't really like it, because I want it to be equal on both. Otherwise that will cause an imbalance on the aircraft. So we'll let it do its thing. Every time I zoom in it does that, by the way, but that well is what it is. Yeah, 389, 384. Not sure if the X feed works. Cross feed, basically. That's okay. Dim, sorry, bright then off. That's fine. Good stuff. Nice clouds. Nice sky. Beautiful Caliphate Airways. The engine is roaring forward as we fly with our two pilots, both of them wearing their aviator glasses. Look at the reflection off of the glass. What a high quality sim is this. Fantastic. As they turn their heads. Seems like the airplane may be experiencing a little bit of turbulence. Let's quickly check. No, it's fine. $124 knots. Headwind. That's crazy. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to quick break. We'll come back. We'll chat a little bit more, and then we'll prep the aircraft for landing, inshallah. Alright? So, I'll be back in a bit, and you guys can go, grab something to drink, grab some snacks, all that good stuff, and then we'll be able to continue our flight, inshallah. Salam alaykoum. Bismillah. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulillah. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we are back from our break. A break that we took all so we can get refreshed, pray our prayers, and perhaps eat or drink. Now, we still have a long time till our top of descent, which is approximately what is it? It's approximately 270 away. We still have time, so let's quickly check. Maybe here will tell us. 244 nautical miles away. So that is quite a lot. And the topic of discussion for today is preparation for Ramadan. Preparation for Ramadan, you have to understand one thing. If you have, tomorrow is probably the first day of Ramadan, but let's say we were speaking about this 7 days ago. You have 7 days to prepare. You will not be able to prepare for a marathon or a competition within a small amount of time. You always need as much time as you can get in order for you to prepare. A lot of people believe that Ramadan is a month where you can do extra work and all of a sudden you will be able to do so. A majority of the Muslims, unfortunately, will not be able to perform unless Allah has blessed them. But it is also important to understand that although we all have shortcomings, there's always our will, power, and Allah's blessing that can help us overcome those shortcomings. So preparation for Ramadan is not to be done a week before, is not to be done a day before, and it is certainly not to be done during the Ramadan. What is happening is, we see a lot of Muslims, the month of Ramadan arrives and they instantly believe that they will stop everything and be perfect Muslims and do the right thing. And inshallah that's what they will do, and inshallah they'll keep doing it. However, it is not a very realistic expectation. Just like you wouldn't turn up in a marathon unprepared, expecting that you will win the marathon, you shouldn't turn up in Ramadan unprepared, expecting that you will be the best Muslim you can be. And so, there is a certain group of people who, throughout the year, live as if it's Ramadan. They read 1 juz a day in their tahajjud prayer. They stay after Fajr until the sun rises, doing dhikr of Allah, gaining the reward for Hajj and Umrah. They fast on Mondays and Thursdays, and Arafat, and all of the Sunnah fasts. And they behave in a way which is accustomed for such a target, such a role model of a Muslim. These are the role models that we can look at today and compare with ourselves, one to one. Our role model in the end of the day is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his righteous companions. May Allah be pleased with them. But also, Ahmed says here, yes, some people stay the whole month in Medina, doing only praying and dua. The people that throughout the year pray tahajjud, pray night prayers, read 1 juz of Quran each day, fast Mondays and Thursdays. When Ramadan comes, it won't be much of a change. it won't be much of a change. Rather, they will switch it up a notch. They will do extra work. Instead of 1 juz a day, they may read 5. Right? And they will prolong their night prayers, seeking Allah's reward. Our role models are the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions. May Allah be pleased with them. But it is rather easy to see those types of people who don't see much change, and they look at us and other Muslims, and they think to themselves, why are these people so tired? We are used to staying up late and praying, seeking Allah's reward. So that is important. And although this reality may hit some people very hard, these good Muslims, inshallah, may Allah accept it from them and from us all, they exist. And they perform these acts of worship in a manner that's befitting. And they don't only do that during the month of Ramadan, which is why when the month of Ramadan arrives, it is rather a sweetness they gain. Not tiredness, not hunger, and not thirst. It is a sweetness of aqidah and worship. So, Ahmed says, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam always praying for us. This is why I pray also for all my brothers and sisters more than for myself. May Allah accept it from us, the prayers, and may Allah help us make dua for the people of Palestine and all of the other Muslims in the entire world, dead or alive. But it is important to not be discouraged by this, right? You may not be ready, and you may not have practiced the entire year, but it is certainly not too late. Allah has given you the blessing of another month of Ramadan, if you do not pass away today. And it is important that as long as you have a breath, you try your best to please Allah. And it is never too late to make a change. Indeed, it is not going to be easy. Just because you say you believe, it doesn't mean that you will not be tested, as it said in the Quran. However, it is important that we see these people who pray daily. They prolong their prayers. They read so much Quran. They get a daily reward of Hajj and Umrah because they stayed after Fajr until the sunrise, making dhikr of Allah. These people don't have to be in Medina, don't have to be in Mecca. They are regular people like us. They work a 9-to-5 job, or maybe not. But they work around their schedule, and they still are able to perform these acts of worship. So, do not be discouraged. Rather be happy, but also be happy that once you heard what I said, you may have felt a little bit out of touch. And this is good, because that, inshallah, will trigger a change for the better. So, the preparation of Ramadan is today about to finish, and you need to make a niyyah, make an intention for this month and the months after. It is not enough to just perform acts of worship just during Ramadan, although it is a very good thing. It is not enough. Rather, you will find it easier for yourselves to perform similar acts of worship after Ramadan throughout the entire year. And certainly, if Allah blesses us, we will be able to reach another Ramadan before this one even starts, where we will find it easier to perform these acts of worship because we have been practicing for the entire year. And we ask Allah to accept our worship from us. We ask Allah to reward us in this life and the hereafter. And we ask Allah to forgive all the Muslims, dead or alive. And we also ask Allah to protect us from haram activities throughout this month and throughout the years to come. And we ask Allah to enlighten us with knowledge of His religion and His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as well as the noble companions. May Allah be pleased with them. So we also ask Allah to alleviate the pressures added on the people of Palestine, on the people of Kashmir, on the people of Oejn, on the Muslims in particular. And we ask Allah to guide our noble rulers and to protect the Ummah and unite us, not only in this month but the years to come as well. The point behind Caliphate Airways is exactly this. We are one Ummah and we need to respect and treat each other as such. We are no different from one another. And with that said, we can continue our flight. Everyone say Ameen. This was a dua, and may Allah accept it from us. But we also have to put in the effort and be the best Muslims that we can, with a good intention. So, preparation for Ramadan is about to finish. Make your intentions for the month. Make sincere intentions for the month. And try to uplift them as best you can. And aim to not only do the good deeds during the month, but after it. And the months that come after it, and the years that come after it. And inshallah you will be able to do so. Ameen. So, all this talk, we have 177 nautical miles away from our top of descent. I want to do the prep for the descent, I'd say around 100 nautical miles, 80 nautical miles from the top of descent. So for now we can enjoy the lighting of the simulator, and it does look like this will be a very nice sunset landing. If we are to look at the tablet here, you can see that we are getting closer and closer. Medina is right here, Jeddah is here, and Mecca is around there. Wait, it won't let me, but Mecca should be around here. Let's see. There it is. Mecca, our beloved Mecca. Amazing, amazing stuff. This is the airport, the closest that will be to Mecca, and you usually take this highway and you go over to Mecca and you stay in a hotel and then you do your Umrah from there. Now, as you can see, this is a very huge map over here, and one of these countries don't belong on this map. But we're looking at this here, and I was thinking of what to do for next stream, inshaAllah. I do want to keep it regional, because obviously we want to be flying to Jeddah quite a lot, bringing Muslims in from different parts of the world. So we can definitely start with sectors from Sudan, back, Yemen and back, Qatar and back, Gaza and back. All of these sectors we can do. Libya is a little bit of a big one, so it's not as easy. But it would be easier if we did shorter sectors, so that we can do 2 sectors each stream. So, for example, a nice sector would be Medina to Jeddah and then Jeddah to Medina again, or Jeddah to Medina and then Medina to Jeddah. Or another one would be Jeddah to Eritrea and back. Another would be Jeddah to Sudan and back, somewhere local here. Or Jeddah to Egypt and back, or Jeddah to Gaza and back. And we do have a special stream for Gaza. We will be planning it later on. It is not in the books right now. We still have to plan it, because I want it to be perfect, essentially. Inshallah, we will get on to that swiftly when the time comes. But very beautiful, I have to say. Back to Ahmed's question about the lighting of the sun hitting our eyes. If you're still here, Ahmed, it is also good to note that probably the windows of the airplane do have some coating to stop some of the UV rays coming through. Now, I'm not sure, but it would make sense if they did have, right? And the sun is in our eyes right now, and I am pretty blind, so we have to tell the passengers that we may crash. So let's just make our way over to the cabin. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Salam alaykoum. Salam alaykoum. I cannot see. The sun is in my eyes. Okay. So I will fly the plane blind. Okay. All of you know. Okay. So after this very professional behavior in the cabin, we can go back into the cockpit and act like men. Oh, I'm so funny, aren't I? Anyways. Alright. Lovely. So, Caliphate Airways. Allahumma barik. This is, I like looking at this. You know, it flies over. You know, it's like those dramatic airline. All these dramatic airline advertisements. We don't need this here. But it looks fantastic. Nice little gradient. It took me a while to get this design, let's say. I spent quite a lot of hours. It's definitely above 20 hours that I spent on this livery, mainly because I didn't know a lot about drawing on airplanes and stuff, and secondly because I wanted to get the logo right, the coloring right, the design here quite right, and the positioning. Now I appreciate that the positioning here isn't the best, but if I was to bring it any closer it wouldn't look as good. We can make some amendments as we go on. But, yeah. We'll soon reach Medina. Okay, so you can see now there is some turbulence. Do you see this, Ahmed? There was a little bit of turbulence there. There, Hugh, see? This is turbulence. As you can see, the speed is changing. Okay. So if this was ongoing and it wasn't just a one-time thing, I would have to turn on the seatbelt signs, make sure that the passengers are sat down, and that we give a PR saying, "Dear passengers, your captain speaking. We are experiencing some mediocre turbulence. Please be seated and have your seatbelts fastened." That's it. You just have to tell them. There is a lovely mountain range over there, as we can see. I'm not sure what this mountain range is called. Someone in the chat may know. Why does it keep doing that? I wonder. Excuse me. But yeah. So this is showing us track and mag. For those of you who don't know, airplanes, believe it or not, don't fly in straight lines. Ooh, how is that? You ask, and I answer. Well, you see there is a wind pushing us. It is pushing us to the left. So if we were to fly straight, over time would start moving to the left because the wind would push us to the left. So somehow we need to counteract that wind. And what happens is, much like a crosswind landing, where the airplane is facing off to the right or to the left, we need to do the same thing. Okay? So, what happens is, the track and mag have been created. These things are two different measures. One of them shows us the direction of the aircraft. The other one shows us the heading, or the nose, what bearing the nose is pointing at, essentially. So as you can see here, let me make this. As you can see here, we have a straight airplane, but our airplane is not straight. The track is straight on this line, but our heading is this. Does that make sense? Meaning that this is where our nose is pointing at, and this is where our nose is flying at. So if I remove the heading bug so that you're able to see it, move it out of the way, you'll see that the thing that's going straight up is where our plane is moving towards, which is a very interesting distinction to make so that you're not confused. And you can see it if we were to look. Let's see, how were we to look? How would we see this? We don't have the contrails on now. So the airplane is moving this way. So it's looking off to the right, but it's moving this way, right? You can probably tell just a little bit by how... So if we have straightened up like this, you can see a little bit by how the terrain moves behind it. So it looks like this is going further away, you see? And this is coming closer to the fuselage. You see how it's coming closer to the fuselage? This is because we're moving a little bit to the left. And we are pointed to the right. A little bit of turbulence now again. Is this enough for us to call in? Not really. But this is very beautiful. It seems that there is fog. Let me quickly check the matter at the arrival. This is Cav OK. 29 degrees. Pretty hot day. But seems to have fog. This probably is Medina that has the fog. Yeah. So Medina does have the fog. The city of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, how long do we have? 112 nautical miles. I am happy to start planning now. We have about, yeah, it will be 15. Yeah, so I think we should be, planning right now. We have about 15-16 minutes left. So, let's get started. Let's get started with our descent preparation. First of all, we need to do is get our charts in check. So arrival is obviously Jeddah Airport. We'll be going over here at the stars, and we want to pick our star, which is, let's quickly check. It is Nomda 2 Sierra. So Nomda 2 Sierra, we need to find this in the arrivals. So you look for 2 Sierra and you will quickly find it. Let's see. Doesn't seem like I can scroll like this. I should just use that probably. Nomda, no, not. See, this is a little bit. This looks weird, but it's not Nomda 2 Sierra. This is Imdab 2 Sierra, and the rest of it is Misram, Nomda, and Venep 1 Echo. So we need to find Nomda and then 2 Sierra next to it, or further down it. There it is, Nomda 2 Sierra. Okay, lovely. So we should be coming from up here. We'll take a left turn. Going across. Okay, so this is turbulence, by the way. This is turbulence. And because it's been going on, we'll say, we'll turn on the fast seatbelt signs, and we'll tell the cabin, dear passengers, this is your captain speaking. We're experiencing some mild turbulence. Please take your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you. Lovely. So, this was the PA. So, at Ladla, we need to be above 13,000. So, let's quickly check. So, Nomda, Ladla, 13,000 and above, which is good. Then, Juliet, November 933. We need to be at 13,000 and above. Now, you see this, when you look at it, you see 13,000 and then you see flight level 161. Now, this may be confusing to some, but remember, this means 13,000 and above. So at this point, we can be 18,000 and it would still count as a valid altitude to be at. Then we'll move down this Nabgi. We need to be at 6,000 specifically. And there it is. And Ormix, we need to be at 3000 if we are doing the Misam to Sierra, but we're doing Nomda to Sierra, so we need to be at 6000 even at Ormix, 3000 for Juliet November 874, and then Okkk is 2000, and you will be arriving on the runway as needed. Now we will be landing. What's the landing runway? 16 left, so obviously we will be pointing down, so it's this runway that we'll be landing on from here. So for now I will pin this chart and then go over to the approach. ILS 16 left. There we go, simple stuff. Our ILS, it has 1085, so I'll quickly put 1085, so you change it up to 1085 0. Let's just confirm that. 10850. That's same for this. 10850 and swap it over. Perfect. Now our course will be 156. Course will be 156 for this as well. Fantastic. And we will start our approach 2000 feet, so this is what we will be descending to. Now, in the case of a missed approach, we will climb on course 156 to 6 nautical miles away from the airport. Turn left to intercept Romeo 135. Okay. So this is the missed approach. Turn left, Romeo 135, and then we'll go over to Imdap for a hold. Then climb 4000. So our go around altitude is 4000 feet. Just to note that. Looking further down the chart, we need to look at our minimum decision height. Now, ILS, the decision is 234. So we will put 235 on our... So in order to do that, you have to go... Now, I appreciate you guys may not be able where my mouse is pointing, but you essentially have to go where I'm zoomed in right now. You have to go here to the RST and switch this knob. If you turn this knob, and I appreciate you guys cannot see where my mouse is pointing, but if you turn that knob, then you see the altitude at the main display, and we want to put it at 235 so that it calls out, and by the time it calls out we've already made the decision whether we're going to go ahead or stop. And this is the radio altitude, which is usually 200 or 204 feet above the ground. So we should be above Medina now. There it is. This is the Masjid al-Nabawi, I believe. Yes, I think it is. And a very mountainous area around here. A very mountainous area. And there is a nice little circular highway around it. I'm not sure what this is. I should probably educate myself towardly. But this must be an airport. And there is a Medina airport around, which we have to find, because we will be flying to it in the upcoming streams. Probably that one there. That's the one. Looks like an airport. That one looks like either old airport or not too sure. Lovely. Let's keep going on with our descent. Now we have to go into the FMC. We have 61 nautical miles until descent. So we'll go to forecast and request the winds. As we're requesting winds, we need to go over here and look at QNH. QNH is 1010. So we will insert 1010 into the KNH bar. Execute. And then we'll wait for the winds to be ready. So we should get a uplink message here saying, there we go, and then we can load the winds, and they will be loaded as expected. Now, ideally we would want to do this a little bit later, but these are the destination winds, so we're fine. Now, on our performance calculation for the landing, performance tool, landing en route, import, runway 16 left, import aircraft details, and import weather, and just calculate. Perfect. 154 is our, that's a pretty fast speed. So let's quickly check our fuel planning. So I don't want to look at fuel planning, actually I want to look at weights. So let's go to our weight section. So landing weight approximately 64.8. Okay, 64.8. Going to put it there. So 64.8 will be our landing. Expected landing weight. I'm not too sure it will be though. Oh no. Have I done? Import from aircraft. Calculate. Oh, this is the takeoff stuff. Import from aircraft. Yeah, probably could be 64.8. Yeah, I'm happy to change this to 64. Okay, let me quickly 64.8. We'll do 65. So we are conservative with our performance calculation. So 153. Okay. We will use auto brake 3. No credit for VREF add 5. Oh, it adds 5 to the VREF. So if we put 0 and calculate, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense now. Okay. Lovely. So we'll go to init ref here. Without adding the 5. 148, which is 148, which is correct. So we'll grab that over. 65.5, which is, that's fine. That's pretty much what we want. And that will be us in terms of the approach. Now I want to go over to fix and go runway 16 left. We insert that here, and then we want a 10 nautical mile ring, a 4 nautical mile ring, and our flight level, which is 32, right? So you want 32 times 3, which is 96. So another ring at 96 nautical miles. And what that will do is it will give us a better reference to see where our top of descent would be. So here, okay, which is nice. It's good. It's calculated pretty close. I'd say this is like a, what, 4 or 5 nautical mile difference. Awesome. So, zooming out again. And looking outside, the sun is now there. And it is going to be a very beautiful landing. We can set our auto brake to 3. And engine to continuous, why not? Wow. Very beautiful. As always. As always. Looking at chat now. No more new messages for us, but we've been going through some very important stuff this stream. It was definitely worth it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the surprise stream. Although I didn't have a Ramadan special livery like some expected. They're right, they should have expected it. Excuse me. You can see the sea there. Obviously, we're long past Medina. We're going over to Jeddah. Kaaba should be around here somewhere. We're approaching our top of descent quite quickly. So we're pretty close to our landing. Keep it on the init ref. 148 is our landing speed. Let's keep going. Very nice sky, I have to say. Microsoft has absolutely smashed it with the sky colors. I mean, yeah, well, there's not much to talk about here. We already said it. We already keep saying it. You know, Microsoft, good job on the looks. It looks fantastic. Sim looks very realistic in terms of colors. Especially if you have a high graphics card, high performance graphics card. You get a very good visual representation of what it really looks like in real life. Okay, we're about to hit our top of descent. We're about 10 nautical miles away. No, 5 even. 5 nautical miles away. So the aircraft should be all configured and ready to go. I'd say very hard flight for the engines. They had to really push through to get us to get the speed up constantly above 90% throughout the flight. So that's a W on the engines. As fantastic as it can get, eh? Now we're descending very nicely. Realistically, the Pmdg would do a proper full idle descent, but Pmdg hasn't modeled that in for one reason or the other, so that's not a realistic thing. We are on descent path though, and that's what matters for us now. Looking at the sun, what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sun. I did say that Maghrib time in Saudi is at 6, but I did forget to do the conversion from Saudi time to UTC. So Saudi Arabia is 3 hours in front of UTC time, or Zulu essentially. So it's 6:30 now, and Maghrib time is at 6:07. So it's already passed for the Saudis, which is fine. Hold up. 66.2. Yeah, no, that's fine. Incorrect. Very, very beautiful. Wow. You guys can grab screenshots as many as you like. Go ahead. Trying to spot the airport. Let's quickly check our... Put on 20. let's quickly check our approach. So, we're going down Ladla, which is 13 and above, then over the left. Now, I want to make it 40 so that we can see a little bit better. So, here moving in, and then we want to go like that, and then in and there. So, essentially, at Nabgi we need to be 6,000 feet. However, if I was to change the distance over, you see that we're making this turn here. Now, this to me is a little bit unnecessary, and it is part of the arrival, if you remember in the charts where we checked and saw that if I was to go to the pin charts and go to the arrival, you saw we had this turn. This is basically what it is. So why not just go straight, right? Now this is something we can do. So from Nomda directly to Nabgi, we can do that. But that will mean that probably we need to increase our descent rate now. We should be fine to do so though. So I'm debating it now. Should we? It will increase our landing weight, I believe. But shouldn't increase it by much. Our airplane seems to be right here, so we should be turning left at some point. So now we'll start reducing the speed as we keep descending. But this is our approach. There it is. We'll leave it. Actually, I don't really want to leave it, but I don't want to rush it either. Oh well, leave it as it is. It's okay. We'll go back to map, and yeah, we could have just gone straight, right? It's okay. Zoom out, dude. I want to see terrain, please. Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. I don't see the messages in time. You probably were talking about something else, but here's the terrain. Very nice landing this will be. Wow, what a nice sunset. Beautiful, beautiful. And I don't have the best of PCs, still looks good, which is a very big plus for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Ahmed, are you satisfied? Okay. Very beautiful. Let's prepare the destination QNH 1010. So that's set over here. And let's zoom in the aircraft so that we can see a little bit better. It goes to 250 before we can continue descending. We are above 13,000. Let me go to the legs. We're above 13,000, but on Nabgi we need to be at 6,000. Very nice. Very beautiful sky. And it will likely become nighttime by the time we get down on the ground. Since there's not much to do now, we can just look at the sun go down You can literally see it go down. This is fantastic. Ahmed wants it zoomed out so he can see the terrain. Now we're starting our turn. We're at 20 nautical miles now. So we gotta keep an eye on our positioning. Don't forget that the go around altitude is 5,000, so let's quickly have that at hand in case we need to use it. It's actually 4,000, not 5,000. So bear that in mind. The airport, trying to locate it. Not anywhere that I can see it. Well, that's fine. Sun is almost hidden. As the darkness is starting to take over Saudi Arabia and the neighboring countries. Speck of the sun left. Let's look at our descent. We're at transition altitude, so QNH as required. We're near passing 10,000 feet now, which is when we'll turn on our lights in preparation. Almost no sun can be seen, and there it is. It's gone. Pretty much gone. Oh, it's back up. What's happened? It went back in time. Nope, that's it. That should be it. Darkness is arising, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful, beautiful sunset this is. Okay, steep turn. Well, that's to be expected. Due to the arrival. We're still on the descent path, which is fine. And we have another decel point on the map here, if you can see. This is where we will start the final deceleration. Ready for the approach. I still can't see the airport. It should be somewhere around there though, in the city. So Jeddah is a very nice city, and it doesn't get a lot of credit due to the fact that, you know, Medina and Mecca exists, and Riyadh, but Jeddah is also a very beautiful city. Wow, look at the colors. Look at these colors. Fantastic looking. Not much more I can say. I'm amazed. I mean, this is an amazing experience. The frames are good, and the simulator looks good. So what else to ask for? Right, we're passing 108. Might as well turn on the landing lights. Because I can barely see, let's turn on this to the dim setting so that we get a better look of all the instruments. Now all that's left for this flight is for us to do a nice landing, so no pressure to me. Everything looks fantastic at the top. We're still descending through 10,000 feet right now. Does it require drag? No, I don't think it does. Which is fine. Somewhere around there. Not too sure where the airport is. So we'll just have to wait. It's still far away. It's about 40 nautical miles away, so I wouldn't expect it to be rendered, but the sea looks so realistic, doesn't it? Fantastic sea. Like I said, you guys can take any screenshots you may wish to. Put it as your wallpaper if you're that cracked. What a beautiful sunset. And you see the darkness rising from the other side. It is essentially a sunsetty. That is essentially a sunsetty landing. Right? It's more on the side of darkness. It's not as lit up as you'd expect. Let's double check the wind. 220 at 7. Okay, that is pretty much a tailwind, right? It's going this way, and we'll be landing that way. So we will pretty much have a tailwind, which isn't good. If we go to our landing calc, I didn't see it. 220 at 7. But it is coming that way. Yeah. Because these, they have 80 plus 40, 120. And obviously, if this has 120 difference, this has more. Right. Right, it does. Or doesn't it? Or doesn't. No, it doesn't. 16 to 20. Right, so we're facing 16 right now, if we go like this. And then 220 comes in at about there, actually. So, I'm wrong. But how can I be wrong? I'm never wrong. Oh, it's because the wind comes from 220. No, I remember why. Okay, that's fine. Drag required. Thought so. Yep. And I'd expect it to, anyways. But I don't think I have set up a thing for it. A button for the... Quickly set out our landing notifications. Okay, it doesn't need any more drag, I assume, because it's just put the thing, the thrust all the way up. And now we're turning for our approach to Jeddah. Looking at all this, I do not know where the runways are, where the airport is. Not too sure why we're this low, this far away. We cannot obviously put flaps 1 now because it's too early, so we have to wait for flaps 1. Lights are on as expected, so we should be just fine. Down here, everything we've set up, you know, double checking everything. We've already established a localizer pretty much. but I still don't see the airport. Now, okay, I see it. This must be a runway. It's not very well rendered, but it must be it. Now, a very important thing to note is if we can quickly go over to our charts and go to search, make sure we're on our arrival, go to airport and click on this. So we're landing here, which is good because this is a runway that's close to the thing. So we'll probably take this exit and then we'll be easily moving on to the terminal, which is good, Lovely, it's getting darker and darker. And now the airport will start becoming visible. It's right there. I can see it. So, we're still waiting for flaps to come. Drag required. Probably, yeah. Probably is required, actually. And quickly just extend it so that we can slow down very fast. We are super fast. I wonder why. This is half speed brakes up. We're halfway up, but there are the runways. We are very fast. Not sure if we'll be able to slow down, if I'm honest. Come on. It won't let me. I don't know how to. It won't let me put it in the full up position. Oh no. This isn't very good. We're super fast. We're coming in hot. As they say it. We need to be at 2,210 by Okkk, which we are headed to. We're 3 nautical miles away. I don't think we'll make the speed or the altitude. I wonder why. Is it because we didn't do it in time? We'll turn the approach on. Single CH. We can turn on the second, and then we can set the go around altitude, which is 4,000 feet. Now, we're a bit far for me to take controls now, but what I will do is hope that it somehow levels off a little bit. Yeah, so that we can start decelerating. And now I can start setting the flaps a little bit further down. Nicely. So this one will come down to us. We are set up correctly for the approach. Never doubt the Pmdg. We'll leave these as armed, set to armed, and I'll increase the flap to 5. Flaps 5 are set. Okay, I'm now happy to decrease to remove the autopilot and start hand flying this. At any given moment, you need to trim the aircraft so that it's steady and it makes it easier, makes the approach more stable. So now you can see the nose is going up by itself. When you reduce speed, the nose will naturally point down, so you always need to trim up a little bit, right? So now we need to reduce speed. Put flaps to 10. I want to see whether flaps 10 is when it starts complaining about gear, because I don't remember. It's been a while. So now I need to start trimming up a little bit, because if you trim as you're reducing speed, then you'll be able to you won't need to make as big a changes when you get to the lower speeds, which is good, right? Keeps the approach a little bit more stable, a little bit more manageable. I'll turn this to 10 so that I can clearly see us going over the 4 nautical miles line, which is the point where we need to get our gear down and get flaps to 25 and to 30. So now both the gear and the flaps will help us maintain the altitude, but we also need to make sure that we are correctly trimmed. We are very low, and I will blame it on the approach. So I'll just reduce my descent rate. Yeah, that's good. We do have a side wind of 15 knots. Yeah, it will start complaining, so I will decrease the descent rate and trim up a little bit because the nose is dropping for me. And also I need to increase the thrust. Yeah, don't worry. We're getting it sorted. Don't worry about it. Okay, glide slope. We're getting a traffic warning. Not sure where. I don't have any traffic on, so it is literally impossible for me to get traffic warnings. I'll start trimming down. We're almost there. Keep trimming down. Keep trimming down. We're almost at the glide slope. Captured. There we go. Glide slope captured. Keep going. Let's not go down too much. Oof. We're good. We're stabilized now. Check. I'm not getting any callouts. I didn't get callouts for the minimums, did I? Minimums. Continue. Okay, I can see the pappies. We're a bit high. 50, 40, 30. Check. Close. 20, 10. Touchdown. Spoilers, reverse green. Eighty knots, manual braking. We don't need to force it. 60 knots, reversers off. Okay, we don't need to force the braking here because we have... actually, we can make this exit, so we're fine. We can make this exit, and we will. So let's increase our thrust so we can... I'm not sure if we're supposed to be turning. Not sure the Pmdg can handle such a huge turning rate. You have to always use the brakes a little bit. I think we did go off a little bit earlier, unexpected, but it's fine. It's doable. That was a very smooth landing, a little bit off center line. Smooth nevertheless. So as we're exiting, and the frames are fantastic, we can turn off our landing lights, set the engines as expected, and obviously our strobe can now come off because we're off the runway. We can start the APU, and also we can put flaps up. We need to make sure that we don't miss the turn here. Very slow turning indeed. Come on, come on. Auto brake to off. Our transponder can come off as well. Okay. There we go. Well, that's a lot of thrust. I'd say we're still somewhat heavy. Ahmed says smooth. Yes, it was a smooth one. That was a smooth landing, and it was a beautiful landing as well. I mean, the scenery around is very nice, and I have to say, although we're not getting to enjoy the scenery I've gotten for Orbex from any manager, the structures are still there for us to see and use when we get closer. So we'll move down and then turn left, and then we should be meeting the gates here. It will be a short taxi. And I do need to put the speed brakes off, but I don't have a key for it. So I'll just turn into this Hopefully there's available gates for us. So let's, as we're taxing, let's quickly do that. Lovely. Lovely jubbly. Okay. Let's see if there's any gates. Yeah, there's some gates over there, so we'll use them. Awesome. It was a little bit of a floater. A little bit of a floater landing, hence we got a very good descent rate. The approach wasn't stable. I would like it to be a little bit more stable. So we need to work on that. It wasn't a very stable approach, to say the least. Minimum power. Okay, so beyond this point, I assume minimum power meaning what? Not above 40%? Or, yeah. Let's park next to this guy. So that will be here. So, gate Charlie 5. As you're turning in, you want to close the taxi light so that we don't blind anyone. And let's move forward. There we go. Stopping on point. Parking brake set. APU is available, confirmed. APU on bus. And engines shut down. Alright. Wait for them to spool down. Backs to high. And we'll then request for ground services to come up. FS Action ground services. We will need the shocks set, GPU cart. Oh, is that? Oh, that's that. Okay, I see. So you can do either or. So essentially what we've done here, if you don't have it connected, you're going to have either GPU card or the external pit power. So we'll release the external pit power. Taking its sweet time. Whilst it's doing that, let's... No jetways here. What are you talking about? Because there's jetways. Cringe. Jetways. Change this in request. There's literally a jetway, but probably it doesn't work, right? That's not very cool. Pretty sad. That's okay. That's fine. It's fine. You know what? We'll just request deboarding.
The boarding requested.
And what will probably happen? Saudi Arabian Airlines, of course. We're in Saudi, we have to have the Saudi Arabian Airlines. Saudia stairs coming in. Take our passengers away. I have to check why the jetways don't work, so I'll need to fix this for the upcoming streams. Obviously, I didn't test this scenery before I came. Not very realistic. Look at this. Fantastic. Saudia. And now we can also turn the Passengers.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Then ground power, set it off. Send it on. And then APU can turn off real quick. How amazing. You can sit and watch the passenger bus coming in. Probably Saudi, right? I know it seems like the skin hasn't
The boarding started.
hasn't worked. But now our passengers are deboarding, going to their Umrah. All of them are Muslim. I've checked it, guys, I promise. No, I'm joking. Obviously GSX will render whatever passengers it has set up. So I'll just hide that. I wonder if we go here, will we see the passengers? Oh, okay. 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 Alright, let's go back into the cockpit. I think that was enough. There we go. They're coming out. They're walking over. Nice. Very nice sky. And the tower, of course. The Jeddah Tower. This tan color. I don't know who chose it. I'm not sure if it's the best choice. It looks very coppery. But it looks good, to say the least. Either way. Either way. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jeddah. I hope you have a meaningful Ramadan. I hope you have the ability and are given the ability, and for me as well, to increase our faith and increase in good deeds from this Ramadan forward. It is important to, yes, get tired doing good deeds. Act on them so that you may be rewarded by Allah. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost, right? So inshallah, this will be a meaningful Ramadan for all of us. And may Allah accept our good deeds and grant us goodness. And we ask Allah to help us continue the good deeds throughout the years to come. وَلَقُولُ قَوْلِ هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ وَلِي وَلَكُمْ فَاسْتَغْفِرُوا إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.